Hello everyone, today we will continue talking about the basic poker stats. These stats help us to both identify the type of player we are facing and to find more profitable solutions in terms of adjustments against our opponent. And today's topic is playing out of position, so which stats do affect our out of position strategy. First of all, we go to the caller IP tab. By the way, this HUD is presented to you by Stats Workshop Poker Pop-Up. If you want to check out and try this HUD or maybe other ones, you can follow the link down below. Okay, caller in position or caller IP. What do we have here? First of all, we should realize that when we are playing out of position, we can bet a lot because it will be really tough or tougher for us to realize our equity later on, having a positional disadvantage. So in order to figure out whether we should bet or check and then follow it with a check raise or a check call, we should know if our opponent is going to bet more often than optimal or less often. For example, bet versus missed c-bet stat. For solver, it usually is around 50%. Here, for the guy we are looking at right now, we see 84%. Well, if you want to do some research and to compare those stats to the optimal ones and so on, first of all, we should realize that different players play those spots differently. I mean, some of them will really often bet versus missed c-bet, like a guy we have here, and some of them will almost never bet against a missed c-bet. So we have to go over two possible spots. First, when we open out of position and we see a guy who bets really often versus missed c-bets, like more than 60 or 70%, or 84 right here, we immediately know that he bets a lot when we check, so we can either float him very light when he bets, or we can aggressively check raise against him. On the other hand, if a guy bets like 30% versus missed c-bet, we of course cannot check raise aggressively against his bets. But we know that it will be easier for us to realize our equity. If we check, we will most likely at least see the turn card. And of course, we also want to know how often does our opponent folds against a c-bet. Well, if you take a spot like cutoff versus hijack, solver will have like around 25% fold to a c-bet in those positions. And of course, different players have different stats. If you see a guy who folds more than 40% against a c-bet being in position, well, he folds already too much, I'd say. If he folds more than 50%, well, this guy overfolds massively and we can bet a lot against him. So, if we see a guy who almost never folds against a c-bet, we want to widen up our value betting range. We want to value bet lighter. We also want to bet more on the following streets, we want to bluff less, and if we bluff, we want to use semi-bluffs more, so hands with decent equity, with decent chances to improve on the later streets. And vice versa, if he folds too much, we want to use it and we want to bluff more. So we just want to attack this guy a lot with our c-bets. So it's pretty straightforward. Thank you very much for watching and good luck at the tables.